If you feel stressed, overwhelmed, like there's a million things you need to deal with, this little routine is about to change your life. I started my weekly reset routine about a year ago after reading Getting Things Done by David Allen and getting a ton of inspiration from the GTD queen, MuchelleB. And when I say that this one little weekly routine has changed my life, I'm not kidding. It helps me make sure I don't forget anything, I know what is happening and when, and I know exactly what has to be done for me to live my life the way I want to. So in this video, I am going to walk you through how I get my life together every single week with my weekly reset routine. So there's 3 sections to this routine, and the first section is to get clear. We don't realise how much stuff actually builds up in the background in our daily lives. Messages to get back to, paperwork to deal with, clutter on your desktop, all of these things can stress you out without you actually realising. The get clear section is all about clearing all of that stuff out so you have a clean slate to work with. So the first thing I clear out is my emails. I think I can safely say we all love inbox zero. So I clear out both my personal inbox and my YouTube inbox because I have the 2 different email addresses. As I'm going through my emails, if there are any to-dos that are linked to those emails, I will make a note of them. Or if it's something that can just be done right there and then, if it's only going to take a minute, I'll just do it there. This makes sure that I'm not missing anything important and everything that needs to be dealt with is being dealt with. And then I will check my messages. I am the worst for forgetting to reply to messages or not even seeing the message in the first place. So every week I will just take a few minutes, I'll check my text messages, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, all of those, and just make sure I've replied to all the messages that are there, no one's waiting on a response for anything, and get all that cleared and up to date. And again, if there's any to-dos linked to any of those messages, I will make a note of them. And then the next thing I clear out is my desktop and downloads folders. I always end up with a messy desktop and a downloads folder full of things. So it's important for me to make sure I clear that out every week. Most of it usually ends up getting deleted, but the things that can't be deleted that I need to keep, I will organise them into the folders that they're supposed to go in. And then the next thing is loose papers. I don't get a lot of these, but I do like to just run around the house, pick up any loose papers, whether it's letters, it's receipts, anything that I've got during the week, and I will put it all into my desk inbox. And then I go through all of that a bit later in the reset. And then the last thing that I'll clear out is my handbag. Handbags collect so much crap, and I don't even really know how. But I like to just clear it all out, only have what I need in there. And usually I just chuck my receipts in my handbag as well, so I will make sure I take all of those out and put them in my desk inbox too. So the second section is to get current. This section is about getting everything up to date. The goal is that when you check your calendar, your to-do list, any other organisational systems that you have, everything is where it should be and you are completely on top of all of it. So the first thing I do in this section is I update my money tracker. So I keep track of my income and my spending in a spreadsheet. Of course, what else would you expect from me? I get the receipts that I collected earlier from my inbox and I pull up my bank statement and I just put everything into that spreadsheet. Since I added this into my weekly reset and just made it part of this whole system, I have been so much more in control of my money and I've been able to budget my money so much better because I'm getting a realistic idea of what I am actually spending each week rather than just setting a budget at the beginning of the month and guessing what I'm going to spend. I'm actually able to keep track of it every week. And then I move on to my calendar. So I will add any upcoming events to my Google Calendar. And the first thing I do here is I check my shifts for my work. If you don't already know this, I work different shifts every single week, different days every single week. So I need to be on top of when I'm going to be working because it does change. So I add all of those into my calendar and then I will add in anything else that I know is coming up. This is a really good time as well to confirm any plans with people, or to make reservations or book appointments or anything like that, and just get it all sorted and into your calendar. And then the next thing I'll do while I'm in my calendar is I will check for anything that I need to do related to what's in my calendar. So I will look at the last 2 weeks in my calendar, and I will just look over what I did and make note of anything that I need to do that the things in my calendar remind me of. So this could be something like to leave a nice review for the waitress that served me in the restaurant last week. Or it might be a full-on project that you need to start working on that was the result of a meeting that you had. And then I will look at the next 4 weeks of my calendar, and I will make note of any to-dos that I have to prepare for those things that are coming up. So this could be things like getting birthday presents for people, or doing research and preparing for a meeting or an interview. This really helps me to make sure there's no last minute surprises and things I kind of forgot about that I'm now panicking and rushing and trying to get ready for. And it also helps to make sure that I don't forget to do things I agreed over the last couple of weeks at these meetings or appointments or anything like that that I said I would do. So it's really helpful to just bring all of that together and make sure you're not forgetting anything. And then now we move on to the desk inbox. All of the paperwork and all of that kind of thing that I have collected and put in there, I now go through and deal with every single thing. I will file anything that I need to keep for future. I will shred or bin anything that I don't need. And again, I will make note of any to-dos. So these things can be like bills that need to be paid, or warranties for things that I've bought, or letters that need to be posted. If I can, I will try to completely empty my inbox so it's fresh for a new week. If I have to keep things in there, I will. But if you can empty it, that is better, because then it means that you're not just kind of shoving it in there and then completely forgetting about it. And then the next thing I do is a massive brain dump. This is where I get all of the to-dos that are floating around in my head, distracting me from anything that I'm trying to concentrate on, and I get them written down. I just read through the trigger list, and anything that pops into my head while I'm reading through it, I will write it down. And I don't try to make this perfect or like go too in detail about things. I'll just, whatever comes into my head, I'll write that down. And I did make a whole video on the concept of brain dumping. I made that a little while ago, so I will leave that linked on the screen and in the description for you to watch as well. And then the next step is to clarify the next actions. So this is where we're getting really GTD system. Like, if you've never heard of getting things done or the GTD system or anything, this might seem a bit intense, but roll with it. So, clarifying next actions. This is where I turn that massive brain dump, that massive list of things that I need to do, into things that I can actually take action on and make progress with. So I will go through every single thing on that list, and I will ask myself, what is the very next thing that I need to do to make progress on it? And sometimes what I've written down is the next step. For example, if I need to call my mum, then I do just need to pick up the phone and call her, and that's it, done. But for things that have more than one step to be completed, that's where the next action is really helpful. For example, you might have written down that you need to buy a birthday present for someone, but your next action is actually to brainstorm some gift ideas and pick one of them, because you can't buy a gift if you haven't actually decided what the gift is. So I'll just write the next action next to the to-do that I originally brain dumped. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these next actions. So in getting things done, there are 3 categories to kind of organise your to-dos and figure out how you're going to get them done. And those are do, delegate and defer. So to figure out where they go, there's a couple of questions that I will ask. So the first question is, will it take me less than 2 minutes to do this? If the answer is yes, I just do it right there and then. If it's going to take longer to put it on a list, than to actually just do it, there's no point putting it on the list. But if the answer is no, I move on to the next question, which is, would it make more sense for someone else to do this? If the answer is yes, I will then delegate it to that person. And if the answer is no, then that next action will be deferred or organised onto my next action lists. But before I put anything on my next action list, I check for any to-dos that need to be done on a specific day or at a specific time. So for example, if I have to call the doctor on Monday morning, I will put it into my calendar. If I have to give my friend a birthday present on Friday when I'm with her, I'll put it into my calendar. Because I check my calendar every morning, I don't check my next action lists every morning. So I will probably forget something if it's on my next action list, if it has to be done on a specific day, compared to if it's on my calendar and I know it has to be done then. But this is reserved for things that absolutely must be done on that day. This isn't me trying to fit things in to my day, this is just it must be done then. And then we get to the next action lists. All of the next actions that are left, I then organise them by context. So I have lists for computer, home, phone, errands, work, waiting for, and things to discuss with people. And I just put each next action into the category that makes the most sense. It's so much easier to get things done and tick off a bunch of your to-dos when you can just see the things that are relevant to you in that moment. For example, if I am waiting for a video to upload and there's nothing else I need to do to that video, I'm just waiting, I can pull up my computer list and try and get some things ticked off of that list while I'm waiting for it to upload. It's way easier to stay on top of things this way than just rereading the same long to-do list and trying to sift out what you can do right now, what you can't do right now. If it's already organised, it's so much easier. And it prevents you having to make so many decisions over and over again. And then the next thing I will do is I will add any projects to my projects list. So David Allen defines a project as anything that takes more than one step to complete. So all of those things I brain dumped and then found the next action for, I'll add those things to this list. This list is always really long and that's completely fine. It's just a way to keep track of all the things that you're working on, no matter how big or small they are, so that your brain doesn't have to do the work of remembering them. And then once I've done that, I will review my next actions. A lot of the time I will just be going through my daily life and I'll be completing things that are on my list without really realising or without actually taking the time to go in and tick them off. So I'll just quickly run through them, tick off anything that I've done. I'll also have a look at any of the next actions that I've been procrastinating that I know there's something about them that I just don't want to do. And if I need to clarify it even further, then I will. And then I will review my waiting for list. So everything on my waiting for list is obviously something that I'm waiting on someone else to do. For example, waiting on something to be delivered, waiting on a refund, waiting on someone getting back to me. So each week I will check that list, tick off anything that is done, and if I need to chase anyone up for anything, I will do that now. And then I will review my projects. This is the last part of the Get Current section, and I will just review my projects, tick off anything that's completed, and I also like to make sure that there is a next action on my next actions list for every project, just to make sure that things are always moving forward and I'm not stuck with anything or forgetting about anything. And then section 3 is to get prepared. This section is the things that I need to do to get prepared for the upcoming week. This is going to look different for everyone, but these are the things that I do to make sure I'm organised and prepared and just feel on top of things. So the first thing is meal planning. I like to figure out, especially what I'm going to have for dinner, not so much breakfast and lunch, but what I'm going to have for dinner every night of the upcoming week. I don't meal prep or anything like that. I will literally just write down what I want to eat, write down anything that I need to buy, and then as soon as I can, I'll go and buy it so that I know everything is in the kitchen and it's there for me when it comes to making those meals. This is also a lifesaver for when you have to take things out the freezer, and make sure you actually remember because you know you're going to eat it rather than forgetting because you weren't prepared. Like I've done multiple times. And then I will check my content calendar. So I don't do any of my YouTube planning or anything in my weekly reset, but I will just check it and just make sure that it's organised the way it should be. Sometimes videos have to be postponed or they have to be brought forward, just depending on what's kind of going on. So if that's happened, I'll update it to make sure that they're all in the right order and I know exactly what I'm creating. And then right at the end of my weekly reset, I will do my weekly review. This is where I will reflect on my goals, the progress I've made towards them, how I've spent my time, what I've struggled with, all those kind of things. And then I will plan for the upcoming week. I'll plan what I'm going to do to work towards my goals, how I'm going to improve on the things that I struggled with, and that kind of thing. This is a whole process in itself, which I can make a video on if you want. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on that. This video is already very long, so I don't want to go into that as well in this video. And then I will update my life dash that I have in Notion. This is where I just keep what I'm working on, what I need to do. It's kind of the page that I can come back to and just everything's right there in front of me. Everything I need to know, all my reminders, everything like that is right there in front of me. So I will make sure that that is up to date, and then that is everything done. That is everything up to date. I'm organised for the week. I know what's going on and I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I'm not stressed. I am prepared. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I am going to link my Getting Things Done playlist on the screen, where you can watch more videos on how I get my life together. All the kind of productivity vibes are in that playlist, so I will link that there for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I will see you in the next one.